Hello everybody. In this episode of the Good Coding Practices, we're going to talk about the constants. Constants are values that do not change, or at least do not change very often. Unlike variables which can vary and change over time, the constants stay relatively the same. And if we know that a value will not change in the near future and we may need to use it many times in our application, we can consider creating a constant. Let me show you an example. Here we have a very simple class called income tax calculator, and the purpose of this class is to basically calculate the income tax depending on the worker's status, whether he's single, whether he is married with no kids, or whether he is married with kids. So this method basically calculates the salary minus the salary times the income tax, which is in our case 25%. And this rate is basically for a single worker. If we look at the method for the married worker with no kids, we have the salary minus the salary times, again, the same rate as here, 25%, plus 5% depending on the age of the worker. And in the third case, again, we use 25%, and again, we use the 5% for the deduction of the rate depending on the age of the worker, plus we also have this 3% depending on the number of kids. And basically these are added to the salary because these are like additions, because the worker have kids and he's married, so he will pay less taxes. And you can see that we have a lot of code duplication. We have 3 times 25%, 2 times 5%, and this is only one class, but sometimes we can use this 25% in 10 more classes or 20 more classes, and this means that we'll have to write this 25% in all of our classes. Imagine that 1 week later there is a change in the income tax, and the income tax becomes 26%. This means that we should go to all of our 10 or 20 classes where we use 25, and we will have to change it to 26. So what we can do is we can select 0.25, right click, select refactor, extract, and constant, or we can directly use Ctrl-Alt-C, and this will create automatically a constant for us. The name will be income tax, and you can see that it automatically detects that the type should be double. So now we can directly use our constant and replace this 0.25 with our constant. And this not only makes the changing of the income tax easier for us, but in my opinion it also makes the code more readable, because you can easily understand what are we calculating here. We can do the same for 0.5, and this will be called age tax rate. Okay, and we can replace the age tax rate here. Okay, and if we have these variables in one class that is called, let's say, tax constants, we can basically use them in all our classes, in our methods, in all our places in our code. And basically we should include the tax constants, and okay, it's also included here, and we can do the same for the H tax rate. So basically constants allow us to reuse them in all our code, and later on if we need to change the income tax, let's say to 27%, we'll just go to the tax constants class, which will be related to all our constants or income tax constants, and we'll change it to 27. And this 0.27 will be changed for all our classes, all our methods. So constants make the code not only more readable, but also save time when you need to make a change. You don't need to search all the places where the value is used and to change every one of them. You only need to change the value of your constant. So this can prevent you from critical errors that you can make while changing these 0.25 in all your classes, because you can by mistake enter 0.26, let's say. So this is a very critical error. And these errors can be prevented by using constants.